on the TrueNAS server, which is what you're seeing right now, I need to set up the data area that the iSCSI initiator is going to connect to. So the first thing we do is go down to storage and we go to pools. You can see I've already got one set up, but here's my data drive that I've got on this set up, and it's got 65 terabytes still available. I'm going to make a area for CCTV2 to connect to. So I'm going to hit the three dots and I'm going to add a ZVol. So I'm going to name it CCTV 2, and I have to set a size. So I'm going to make it 32 terabytes to match the other one. Other than that, I don't have to do anything on here because I'm going to leave it set at the default that I've already got it set up. There are some advanced options on here, but I'm going to go ahead and say submit. And now you can see CCTV2 is the same size as CCTV1. It inherits the same compression level that the data store is set up as. And that's it for setting up that part of it. The next place we're going to go is down to sharing, and we're going to click on block shares iSCSI. So the first thing to look here is we're going to use the wizard, but this is the name that's going to be associated with this particular server. We can change that name if we'd like to. We don't have to, but we certainly can change it to something else. I'm going to go ahead and go through the wizard and set up the iSCSI share. So I'm going to hit wizard. First thing I'm going to do is name this new share. It only takes lowercase and it will take a dash and a period. So I'm going to set up as CCTV2 iSCSI. And then when I go to the device, I just pick the one that I just set up on my storage node. So I go to device, I drop down, and I'm going to go to this CCTV2 one. And then the next thing I'm going to do is pick the sharing platform. Because I'm using Windows Server 2016, that is considered a modern OS, so I'm going to click Modern OS. Next, I'm going to hit Next. And on my portal, I'm going to drop down, and I've already got a portal set up from the original one. If I didn't, I would hit Create New, and in that case, I would use the default address of all zeros, leaving the port number the same, and I would basically leave it as the none on the authentication. However, I'm going to go back after I have everything connected and turn on CHAP so that it authenticates between the two. And once you set up CHAP, then you have to set up passwords. I'm not going to do that right now because I've already got it set up. So I'm going to go ahead and stay with the portal that I've already got connected. I'm going to hit Next. As far as authorized networks and initiators, you can see right here, I will be able to put in specific host names if I want to, or I can put in specific IP address ranges, which I'm going to, so that only specific machines will be able to connect to this one. In fact, I could go ahead and put in my IP range /24, and then only those things will be able to connect to it. I'm not doing that right now because I'm not going to limit it as I initially do the setup. And when I'm done, it's going to come down here and say, okay, it's going to be called CCTV2 iSCSI. It is going to use this 32 terabytes off of this data drive, and it's a modern setup with this portal. Once I hit submit and save, I should be able to see this setup now under my iSCSI areas. And once it's down here, I can go through and look at that. Here's my portal setup. I've got my 2 drive setups right now. Right now, I've got no authorized access, so anybody who connects to this can. There's my 2 targets, and they're going to these areas and connecting up to these extends. The next thing I want to do is go down to services and make sure iSCSI is on and running and set to start automatically. If I don't do that, by default this is not on and it will not connect up when I need to use it. So that's the first thing I have to do on my TrueNAS. I'm going to go ahead and close that and go back to my server to finish setting up this connection. So now I'm back over on my server with the iSCSI properties. The first thing I'm going to do is go down to configuration, and I'm going to change this initiator name to the same name that I've got on my server, and this is the TrueNAS section open up right now. So I can hit change and go ahead and paste that in there and say OK. And so now it's pointing to this server. Then I'm going to go over to Discovery, and I'm going to add my portal by hitting Discover and putting in the IP address and saying OK. And so now I've got my portal there, and then I'm going to go to my target, and I'm going to see my target. It's already there. This is number 2 that I'm connecting to, so I'm just going to click on there and say connect. It's going to add this to the list of favorite targets. Yep, OK, and OK. Now I've just connected that. So I'm going to go to disk management, and I will see a new drive down here configured. This disk 4 unknown. I have to right click on it and bring it online. And then I'm going to right click on it and initialize it. And then I'm going to right click on it and say new volume, next, next. It's going to be F, next, and I'm going to call it and finish. And now the difference between this and doing a mounted network drive is that this will now show up in just a second as an F drive down here. And instead of having 14 terabytes of storage on my local drives, I now have 32 terabytes of storage on this basically mapped SCSI drive that I'll be able to use as my archival storage for my CCTV information from here on out.